So I think it's safe to say that this Katt Williams Club Shay Shay interview just broke the internet. It now sits at over 12 million views in just a couple of days. And it's kind of taken the internet by storm. And it's mainly because Katt Williams would completely scorch earth, calling out the likes of Steve Harvey, Cedric the Entertainer, Ricky Smiley, Kevin Hart, TD Jakes, Ludacris, Faizon Love, and even Diddy. Claiming that Cedric the Entertainer steals jokes, claiming that Kevin Hart is an industry plant, and claiming that he essentially ran Steve Harvey out of comedy. Basically calling these guys fraud. And we're going to talk about it. So starting off with the first victim, Ricky Smiley. Now, one of the many problems that Katt Williams addresses towards Ricky Smiley is Ricky Smiley's claims on a Club Shay Shay interview he did about a year ago. One of the main talking points was Ricky Smiley's role in Friday After Next. Now, Ricky Smiley said that he was originally supposed to be Money Mike, which is the pimp character in the movie, and that Katt Williams, who ended up playing Money Mike, was supposed to be the Santa Claus character, but somebody ended up recasting him and switching the roles around. He said the entirety of his shots was filmed in 4 days before Katt Williams was even casted.
You were originally supposed to play Katt Williams' character.
Yes. And Katt Williams was supposed to play my character. And somebody said, no, we want you to play Mike.
The thieving ass Santa Claus.
Right, and then, yeah, because Katt Williams was gonna be the Santa Claus.
Right.
And then, and they switched it over.
Right.
Because when I auditioned for Mighty Mike.
Right.
You know, so when I went in there to audition, I'm at the toilet. When Katt Williams went to use the bathroom, that's the line I had to use to audition.
Katt Williams responded to this basically saying that Ricky Smiley is a straight up liar and that he was never supposed to play Santa Claus, and essentially roasting Ricky Smiley for even thinking that he can even come close to Katt Williams' caliber.
Lowbrow comedians come here and disrespect you in your face and tell you straight up lies. I'm talking about things that have never been heard in all of Black Hollywood. You let Ricky Smiley sit here and you said out that mouth, you stole Friday After Next, the one I was in. And then he said some stuff that we haven't heard in 100 years in Hollywood. You ain't say nothing. This man told you he had Katt Williams' role. He was gonna be Money Mike. And Katt Williams was gonna be the Santa Claus. Now let's 3 quick points. You mean in Hollywood they cast a 5'5" black Santa Claus that weigh 145 pounds? That's your story. Your story is the Ricky Smiley that couldn't even do curse words because he had a Christian fan base. He was gonna play the pimp. Why you didn't ask him why has he played a woman in more movies than he's played a man?
Now, Ice Cube did go on to clear up a lot of these claims that were made between Ricky Smiley and Katt Williams, and he went on to basically confirm that Katt Williams was never supposed to play Santa.
When we bring in a new, comedian, we do have them try out for different roles. Ricky did give Money Mike a shot. But when we saw him and, we kind of saw how he moved and how he was, auditioning, we decided that he would be a better, Santa Claus, which was, to me, the perfect casting. When we saw Mike, damn, I call him Money Mike. When we saw Katt, when I saw him, I just knew that he was perfect for Money Mike.
Now, saying that I was supposed to be Money Mike and Katt Williams was supposed to be Santa, but somebody switched it, it's not the same as I auditioned for Money Mike and I ended up getting Santa instead. Words are very important, and a half-truth is basically a lie. But Ricky Smiley did go on to clear up these claims on his radio station, essentially saying that he auditioned for Money Mike, but it was given to Katt Williams instead, which Ricky Smiley went on to say that Katt Williams killed that role.
I also worked on this show called Live from LA. That was my first job with BET, and that's where I met Ice Cube, if I'm not mistaken. And Ice Cube was like, hey man, I like your work. I want to do some stuff with you. I want to put you in some movies. And Ice Cube started putting me in movies, which really helped my career. I was in All About the Benjamins, but of course, when they changed the ending of it, that part didn't make any sense. But then he put me in Friday After Next. And just for clarification, I went out to audition for Friday After Next as Money Mike, not the Santa Claus. And that is the honest God truth.
For that to have been Katt Williams' first movie, and he exploded. I mean, that literally made him an iconic touring comedian, one of the biggest to do it in this generation.
Amongst other claims, Katt Williams said that there was a grape scene in the Friday After Next movie, and that he had to petition for this to be taken out. Well, according to Ice Cube, that never existed, essentially saying that he would have never even allowed that.
We would never ever show that. You know, that's not my style if you look at any of my movies. So, you know, that was never a discussion, you know. We would listen to a certain extent, but we wasn't gonna change the movie for any actor, you know. We do what we feel, and if it was a it would have been in the movie. There was no reason not to shoot it, but that's not my style.
Lastly, Katt Williams would attack Ricky Smiley's character and his integrity, essentially saying he sold his soul for Hollywood.
The truth of the matter is, the Money Mike in the original script got in the bathroom, and that's what Ricky Smiley was okay with.
Now, I couldn't confidently say what selling your soul even means in modern day entertainment, and besides, most people out there saying, oh, he sold his soul, will probably put on the dress for the rest of their lives if it can mean that they could be millionaires. So I won't come on here virtue signal. Now, before we get into the next victim, Katt Williams did go on to talk about Gary Owens and the reason why he was never able to transition, essentially saying because the hierarchy of the industry wouldn't allow him to. Now, as much contention there is about the Illuminati, with more and more information coming out over time, like the Epstein Island leaks or the Balenciaga scandal or every Gene Deal interview, what Katt Williams is saying isn't exactly a stretch by any means. And Gary Owens would go on to confirm this in his own podcast in response to Katt Williams on the Club Shay Shay interview, telling the story of how an executive offered to pay him $1 million to give him head.
I've been I was in an awkward situation one time where I can't say for 100% this person was trying to make me do something, casting couch type deal, but it felt like it. And I was like, is this that point where I've always heard, would you suck a dick for $1 million? And I was thinking to myself, and I was in this office in this room going, well, I'm about to answer this question. And the answer was...
So anyways, the next victim is Cedric the Entertainer. Now, a major point of contention Katt Williams had with Cedric the Entertainer was that Cedric steals and doesn't write his own jokes.
Cedric told you when you asked him, did you steal Katt Williams' joke? Yeah. He said, it don't line up. How it don't line up? He thought that I was just a no-name comedian and that he could take this joke and nobody would know. 1998, I'm doing this joke. It's on Comic View. Cedric comes to the Comedy Store. He watches me in the audience. He comes backstage. He tells me what a great job I did and how much he loves the joke. 2 years later, he's doing that as his last joke on the Kings of Comedy. And he's doing it verbatim. He's just changed my car into a spaceship.
I had your car radio up so loud that you couldn't hear the damn thing when it cut off. It looked like this. You flossing in a 6-shift convertible.
We were driving space shuttle. We grew up driving long cars. We were driving space shuttle like it's a 72 deuce and a quarter. Nigga, we get us a cigarette. Nigga, we be in a space shuttle, nigga, like it's a 72 deuce. Nigga, we get us.
Now, personally, if you ask me, it wasn't really that good of a joke either way. In both of their shows, I'm pretty sure nobody's leaving saying, man, that car bit was so good. Besides, the premise is kind of different in both situations. If anything, it's fair use. So I do think this is kind of a stretch by Katt Williams. But is it? Because fans would dig up other examples of Cedric the Entertainer stealing other jokes. Now, I'm gonna be honest, the evidence is damning. This joke is from a show called Designing Women, which was on air around 87-88. Cedric the Entertainer would go on to tell this joke in 2020.
That I could answer that question is by telling the Bominicious story. It's a true story. See, there was this white family lived in Mississippi, and they had this man who worked for them occasionally named Bominicious. Now, he did various small jobs for them on and off for about a week. One night, he had just finished bartending a party, and the lady of the house realized that she didn't have any money. So she said to him, Bominicious, I want to write you a check, but I don't know how to spell Bominicious. And he said, well, I've been meaning to talk to you about that. See, when I came to work for you, I told you my name, and then I said, but you can call me by my initials.
Everybody around here call me Bominicious. It's fine. You call me that. Don't even worry about it. Everybody call me Bominicious. Everybody call you Bominicious. Yeah, everybody in the whole city call me Bominicious. Don't even worry about it. It's fine. You call me that. Don't even worry about it. Bominicious. This is what everybody call. Yeah, everybody call me that, man. Don't worry about it. I'm like, all right. So all week long, my ass talking about Bominicious. What up, boy? Hey, Bominicious, you gonna run around, come over and watch the game with us later on? Hey, Bominicious, run to the store, grab some beer, come on back. My cousin said, what you calling him? Bominicious. He said, everybody call him Bominicious. It's all right for me to call him that. Like, nah, man, his name's CJ.
Now, are these jokes oddly similar, or did Cedric the Entertainer steal the joke? Leave a comment down below. Now, next is Kevin Hart. Now, Kevin Hart and Cat Williams have been beefing for like 20 years now. Nobody knows the true origin of the Cat Williams and Kevin Hart beef, but for several years, Cat Williams has been saying Kevin Hart is an industry plant and to, quote, stop telling lies on him.
Proud of your success, but bitch nigga, look. Better stop telling people that motherfucking lies.
If you do it for real, here it is, Kevin. I got a show at your hometown in Philly. I'm gonna tape my special there. On that stage, we can put whatever you want. A full court basketball court, a boxing ring, 2 microphones for a rap cipher, or you can get your ass dusted in comedy on that stage.
Kevin Hart would since go on Breakfast Club with Tiffany Haddish and address Cat Williams and essentially says that Cat Williams plays victim and points fingers and doesn't take accountability for his own actions.
My frustration with Cat Williams comes from you keep pointing at Hollywood. Hollywood this, the white man, this, and this. When do you take responsibility for your actions? You had the shot.
Cat was in that position at one point.
You were the guy. Yeah. You were set up to be the star. You didn't show up to work. You fucked off promo shoots. You fucked off your promo fucking trips that they had set up for you. You became a risk to the studios, which is why the studios stopped fucking with you.
Why was he a risk?
He chose drugs.
Oh.
Naturally, Cat Williams would respond to this in his Club Shay Shay interview, essentially repeating what he's been saying for years, that Kevin Hart is an industry plant who would degrade himself for Hollywood. He even went as far as saying that every role that Kevin Hart got was originally on his desk.
He already had his deals when he got here. Have we heard of a comedian that came to LA and in his first year in LA, he had his own sitcom on network television and had his own movie called Soul Plane that he was leading? No, we've never heard of that before that person or since that person. What do you think a plant is? For a 5-year period, every single movie that Kevin Hart did was a movie that had been on my desk, that all I had said was, just, can we take some of this step and fetch it shit out?
Now, we can't actually prove or disprove whether this really happened, because much of what Cat Williams says in this interview is unsubstantiated claims, but it is very hard to defend a man's integrity when you get paid to kiss a man and get dry humped by Shaq on TV. Anyways, Kevin will go on to respond to this interview on Twitter, and he says, gotta get that anger out, your champ. It's honestly sad. In the meantime, please enjoy my movie trailer to my next film, Lift, which will be dropping on Netflix in 8 days. There's a moment in the trailer where Gugumbeth says they really love you. I now know she's talking about Cat. Mark your calendars, world. This one is special. And this was a really corporate, high road response. But Kevin Hart has the Laugh Out Loud Network, Heartbeat Productions, Hart House, and several other companies, as well as a movie coming out, so he practically has to censor himself all the time. Now, late yesterday, Kevin Hart would go on to respond more on ESPN, essentially mocking Cat Williams' outrageous claims, some of which I even questioned when I listened to the interview the first time. Like Cat Williams saying that he read thousands of books even when he was a kid, or that he could run a 4.3 at the age of 40 plus, which for the sake of context, if he did run a 4.3, he would be one of the fastest men in the NFL.
Cat Williams bought the Knicks.
He definitely bought it.
He bought the Knicks, yeah. And it's rumored that he took the Knicks back
returned him with a receipt.
Yeah, you can do that. You didn't know you could do that.
The first person ever did.
Yeah. Oh, they gave him a 30-day policy.
He bought it for 15 days
and returned it.
Yeah. That's another fun fact about the New York Knicks.
He made the team.
He played.
He played. Oh,
He played with the Knicks.
Is Kevin Hart an industry plant? I'm not entirely sure, but this next person probably received the worst roasting of them all. Introducing Steve Harvey. Now, Cat Williams made several claims against Steve Harvey in this interview, saying that he was jealous of the late Bernie Mac, stealing jokes and concepts from other comedians, and he would even go on to say that he ran Steve Harvey out of comedy. Now, let me explain. Now, according to a comedian by the name of DC Curry, he says that the beef started because Steve Harvey didn't want to give Cat Williams' kids an autograph while they were in the mall.
So I was talking to Cat, and I asked Cat, I said, come on, man, what's going on? And it's two sides to every story, but Cat's explanation was he was in a mall one time before we did Next Friday. Cat was in Next Friday.
Right.
And he was just a working comic. He had two sons. They were in a mall, and they saw Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey was on Steve Harvey's show at that time. His son said, that's Steve Harvey. Cat said, yeah. Sons wanted to go up and ask Steve Harvey for an autograph. Cat told him, go ahead. This Cat story to me now.
Okay.
The boys went up. Steve Harvey, to make a long story short, rejected him.
Big time.
They came back to Cat. They said, he told us, he ain't doing none of that. And the boys went back and told him, Cat Williams, my daddy. And supposedly, Steve said, who the fuck is Cat Williams?
And ever since then, there's been a slow simmering beef that didn't really pop off until the year 2008. Steve Harvey apparently had a show in 2008 in Detroit that didn't sell too well. So the promoters thought, let's add Cat Williams to the card. And they turned it into a competition-like comedy show. And according to Cat Williams and multiple other sources, Cat Williams completely destroyed Steve Harvey in front of 10,000 plus fans.
All this money y'all spent on them motherfucking tickets and talked about a lady in the audience for 15 goddamn minutes. That nigga should have talked about me the way I've been to talk about his bitch man.
Another point that Cat Williams made was that Steve Harvey stole material from comedian Mark Curry, including his stand-up material and his popular show, Hanging with Mr. Cooper.
The same Steve that went to go watch Mark Curry do his whole sitcom and then stole everything Mark Curry had. Now Steve got a sitcom where he the principal and he wear a suit and then he gets this high top fade, making all black men think he got the best lineup in the business. And it's a man unit.
Now, for context, if you never saw these shows, in Hanging with Mr. Cooper, Mark Cooper retired from the NBA to become a basketball coach and later became a high school vice president. In the Steve Harvey show, Steve Hightower left the music business to become a music teacher and ends up becoming a high school vice president. You see the similarities now? Now, there's a lot of things that can explain why that is. Maybe it wasn't Steve Harvey's fault that these shows were so similar. And Steve Harvey could possibly walk free if it wasn't for the fact that he was already stealing Mark Curry's stand-up material. And long before this Cat Williams interview, Mark Curry was very vocal about Steve stealing from him.
So what's up with you and Steve, man? Ain't nothing with me. Well, Steve stole my material on his show, so I had a beef on that. On what show? When he was on the bullshit talk show he had. And he did all my Halloween material one Halloween. I'm watching that. Somebody called me and said, man, homeboy doing your material. So he did my whole Halloween run. And I know he didn't think of it. This is true stuff that really happened to me. And so my thing is, you don't have to do that, homeboy. Right. So, motherfucker, you made enough money, bitch ass.
Unlike the Cedric the Entertainer joke, this joke is a little bit too spot on. And I would probably go as far as saying I am 95% sure that Steve Harvey did steal his joke.
Halloween was a trip. Halloween, we couldn't afford no Halloween costumes. Hey, kids, please. Mama sent us down to the liquor store, put boxes on us. We didn't know what we were. I don't know what we are. I don't know. She didn't tell us. I think we UPS, I guess. I don't know.
You've heard me say that every Halloween I had the same outfit on. Every year. I just had a brown box. I wasn't nothing sad. I asked my father, could I have a new outfit? And he said, no, just wear the same one. And it was just a brown box. And he just told me to tell everybody I was a UPS man.
Not only was Steve exposed for stealing from Mark, but fans dug up footage of Steve Harvey actually stealing from Katt Williams as well. The first video is Katt Williams performing at the 2004 Second Annual Comedy Awards for BET, which is also hosted by Steve Harvey. And the second video is Steve Harvey making an eerily similar joke 4 years later at the Still Trippin' comedy special.
Because the world is crazy right now. What is gas? $600 a damn gallon right now? I don't care how much money you got, gas is entirely too high. That's all I'm saying. You are not supposed to be at the gas station making life decisions. You just at the pump. Just, Negro, did I eat today? I can't get no half a tank. I got 6 cigarettes. I can't even do it. They done messed up the whole gas station experience. Used to be, if you had $10, $15, you could go to the gas station with confidence because you knew you was either going to be full or damn near full. If you had a 20, you didn't even talk to the person at the counter. You just 20 on 11, bitch. They done messed up the whole gas station experience.
Can't even pump gas like you used to no more. $4 a gallon. You remember when you used to go to pump and put the nozzle in there and hit it? Be sitting there talking, be on your phone. Hey, what's happening? Be walking around, cleaning the windshield. Speaking to hey, girl, what's happening? What you doing? Hey, you. Hey, dog, hey, you go in there, bring me a wine cooler. Bring me a cooler, dog. Not no more. Ain't nothing going on at that pump except you and that pump. Your ass is looking at that pump.
Now, Katt Williams will go on and also say that Steve Harvey was lying about being homeless and that Steve Harvey essentially stole Katt Williams' story. This is regarding an interview that Steve Harvey did with Club Shay Shay less than a year ago, claiming that Steve was on tour decades ago, making $3,000 a show. And there's no way to prove this, but hearing that Steve Harvey was homeless was one of the most inspirational parts of that interview. I honestly don't want to believe that he lied about that, but y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. Anyways, like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know if I missed anything. Peace.